National has set a vaccination target in lieu of the government doing so, who have so far refused to put a number on it. Joining us now is the National leader, Judith Collins. Judith, good morning.
Good morning, Ryan.
All right, I want to start actually with Scott Morrison, who says that basically our elimination strategy is a bit of a pipe dream. We can't stamp it out. We need to learn to live with Delta. Do you agree with him?
Well, I think that New Zealanders are starting to feel that that is what's going to have to happen. But look, I just think I'm more positive. I like to think that we can get the vaccination rates up so high that what we see is what Prime Minister Ardern promised us early this year in January, where she said that we'd get everyone, as many as we could, vaccinated, and then this would be treated like a booster shot that we have each year, like we do the winter flu. And look, that's what I'm still hoping for, that she'll deliver on the promise that she made us all.
Well, the Prime Minister says she will do that, and she'll do it in the time she said she'd do it, which is by the end of the year. Judith, she's still got 4 months.
Oh, come on, Ryan, honestly, we've had a very slow we should say, dance on this vaccine. The vaccine wasn't even ordered. The first order wasn't placed until the 29th of January. We're the slowest, one of the slowest in the world. We're 120th in the world.
Yes, well the Prime Minister would say that's because we needed to wait for approval from MedSafe and because we didn't have COVID in the community. We were safe thanks to those early lockdown decisions they made.
Yes, well, New Zealanders were very compliant with this last year and hopefully will continue to comply with the lockdowns this year. It's really important that we do that because we have a largely unvaccinated population. So I think there's about another 4 million people who need to be vaccinated. This is an enormous ask when this could have been rolled out a lot earlier. And it's all very well waiting, as the Prime Minister did, because now we've got Delta. And what we could be doing is actually even ordering the booster shots for after we've got most of the population vaccinated. So these are lots of things that the government could do. And we've set a target to say, well, let's try and get to that, and then we'll move on from that and look for another target.
All right, so you get to 75%, which is your target, and then you've said you won't need to lock down. How many?
Well, we shouldn't need to lock down. How many people will die?
How many people will die if that's the approach?
We don't know that, do we? But we have looked at some of the modelling from the Doherty Institute in Australia, which the Australian government is looking at. We do understand that, like normally we lose 500 people every winter through the winter flu. Nobody wants to be the person who dies from COVID, and I think that we're so far away
how many
from
deaths would you
being able to say that.
How many deaths would you wear?
We don't want to wear any. Well, we don't want to wear any.
But you'd have to, wouldn't you?
But
if you're heading for 75% to avoid lockdowns and you stop doing lockdowns, people will have to die. So how many would you wear?
Well, hopefully we'll get even further than 75%. So my view is it's way too premature to talk about people dying and acceptable numbers of deaths, which I find very offensive, that term. But we do need to understand we cannot survive on a level 4 lockdown month after month after month. And we've seen this because we did not have the vaccination rate that we were promised. We did not have it early. The government went slow. They didn't use the pharmacists, the GPs. They didn't actually use the messaging that would encourage people to get vaccinated. So they need to play an enormous catch-up, and New Zealanders are now paying for that. $1.5 billion a week, according to the government's own estimates of what this country's losing. That's you think about it. That is an enormous ask for a little country our size.
Yeah, and especially a trading nation.
The government does need to keep moving.
Yeah.
We cannot continue to be in the level 4 lockdown for any longer than we absolutely have to be. Right. And look, the country does function reasonably well on level 2 if it has to, but level 4 is really
pretty
hard
restrictive.
on people.
Judith, you're in your bubble. You're in your bubble at home in Auckland. Very quickly, what are you doing for fun in your bubble?
I tell you what, I'm a Zoom meeting I'm getting through all these meetings that we've got. We're going through portfolio meetings with our MPs. We're having caucus meetings every couple of days. We're keeping up to date with each other. And honestly, it's amazing what you can do by Zoom.
Judith Collins, the Leader of the Opposition, with us this morning.
She needs to look at what fun is, and Zoom meetings, isn't it?
Exactly. Like, even solitaire would be more interesting than a Zoom meeting with the National Party caucus, wouldn't it?
No.
Judith, thank you very much for that. Judith Collins, Leader of the Opposition.